Nyam Nyam brings to you 4 Grinch Christmas desserts which are easy and fun to make for any Christmas party. Here's how. First of all, in a mixing bowl you add 250 grams of butter, whisk that up till it's nice and light and fluffy. We're using an electric whisk. Add 400 grams of icing sugar to that. Whisking once again, and if you do have an electric whisk it obviously makes things easier. We add that a little bit at a time just to make sure that it's properly blended in with no lumps. Next we add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 50 millilitres of milk and whisk that in too. Add your food colouring, green of course, green for the Grinch. Stir that in until it's evenly coloured. And that goes into a food piping bag. We've got a serrated edge nozzle there and a slim nozzle and a multi-nozzle. Meanwhile we get some fondant, a little bit of white fondant icing and separate it into 2 pieces, rolling one in the palm of our hand. Now we're going to stick those on our chopping board, adding in 2 teeny tiny bits of black fondant icing. And yes, you've guessed it, they are eyes. So we're going to pipe our green buttercream icing through the serrated edge nozzle first. And then we're going to use our multi-head nozzle to make spiky patterns around the edge of our cupcake. This is the fun creative part, creating a hair-like pattern for our Grinch. And add our fondant eyes and eyelashes for a finishing touch. Don't forget the smile. Why not a heart too? Ooh, dig in. Yummy. For our next recipe, we add 400 grams of ready pancake mix to a mixing bowl and 2 eggs. No need to whisk them in advance. 300 millilitres of milk goes in there and you can whisk that up using a hand whisk this time. Add your food colouring. No need for an electric whisk, so not to worry if you don't have one. Once that's nice and evenly green, we're going to add 100 millilitres of melted butter into it. Whisk it up again. Now that's ready to go into our frying pan. We've lightly oiled, or a non-stick frying pan, even better. Flip it over so you've cooked it evenly on both sides. Wonderful, there you have a Grinch green pancake. Add 250 millilitres of whipping cream to a bowl, 50 grams of icing, and whisk that up. Mixing it on a high speed to make it nice and thick as you like it. Now that whipped cream goes into 2 mixing bowls, and in one we're going to add our green food colouring. And again stir it in so it's evenly coloured, and the other one we leave white. Stick those into 2 separate food piping bags. For the white whipped cream we're just going to use a nice basic thin nozzle. Now for the green whipping cream we're going to use a serrated edge nozzle. We've made a few pancakes here and we're just forming a pile. We're going to put our white whipping cream on first. And you can decorate these how you like. You can pile on the whipped cream or use it sparingly. And here we are, making a flower-like pattern in the middle. And on top of that goes our green whipping cream. And a few fondant hearts around the edge. Why not add some fruit too? Raspberries look fantastic with this green and red against each other. And of course the white whipping cream too. Fantastic use of colours. And it tastes great too. Tuck in. Yummy. Next we're going to add 200 millilitres of whipping cream to a pot. We put that on a medium heat. Mix it as it heats up and bubbles away. And we're going to take it off the stove and add that hot whipping cream to some white chocolate buttons, which will of course automatically melt. Now mixing those in slowly as they melt. We're going to add our green food colouring to that. A few drops. The more drops you add, the darker it will be, of course. And when that's all mixed together, it's going to go into a tray which we have covered with foil so as to make sure it doesn't stick. Freeze that for 3 hours and there you have green chocolate fudge. Fantastic. Ready to slice into portions and add your little red fondant hearts on each. Fantastic. Look at that. So easy to make, so delicious too. Yum. Right, for our final recipe, we add 100 grams of sugar to a mixing bowl and add some red food colouring this time. That was a bit tricky to mix this one, so you're going to have a little bit of patience, but it's worth the wait. Add 50 millilitres of corn syrup to another bowl. Now you're going to dip the rim of your glass into that, so it's all coated with corn syrup. And then you're going to dip that into the red sugar. Coating your rim. Beautiful. Now we add 100 grams of apple jelly powder into a mixing bowl with 20 grams of sugar and 250 millilitres of hot water. Stir that till it's all dissolved together. Add 100 millilitres of room temperature water to that. Mix again. You'll have nice strong arms after this. So, we're going to get our red rimmed glass and pour in our apple jelly mixture. Put that in the refrigerator for 1 hour to set. Meanwhile, get 250 millilitres of whipping cream, put that in a mixing bowl, and using an electric whisk, we are going to whisk it up like crazy. Brilliant. And that is going to go on top of our set apple jelly, all the way to the top of our glass. To top it all off, some red coloured sugar. Fantastic. White, red and green, keeping in with the Grinch theme, and a fantastically Christmassy dessert. Delicious.